Hello. How are you doing? I was thinking about doing a small podcast about Stefan Molyneux. And I am a huge admirer of Molyneux, not least his extreme sense of rationality and logic and so on, and his integrity, not least. His integrity was impeccable in my opinion, and until recently, I would say. And that is a bit about, and that is what this podcast is going to revolve about. It's his integrity in the sense of his choices within the last year or so. And there are two things that where I believe he is betraying his own philosophy. It's not that his philosophy, the philosophy he puts forth, is his philosophy, but at least in a sense, I mean his philosophy in the sense that what he has put forth of logical and rational arguments in a philosophical manner. And the first one is the acceptance of religion, or Christianity more precisely, because there are clear signs that he is taking in Christian guests on his show, and they do not talk about religion, but they talk about other aspects of life, but seen from a Christian perspective, which is inevitable in my opinion. If you ask Christian about the state will be described in a Christian context, so to say. You cannot distinguish. You cannot separate those. You cannot be completely neutral in your way of seeing things if you have an illusion like religion, Christianity. So it will affect the way you understand and describe other parts of society. And indirectly, he is stating an acceptance of religion in a philosophical manner. Because if he is going to trust the logical, if he's going to be a philosopher, he has to be logical and rational. And if you're interviewing a person who is religious but do not take into account in the discussion the aspects of religion or how they influence what the person says, then you are indirectly accepting this as true. And I don't like that. That is manipulative, in my opinion. It is a soft kind of. It's a soft acceptance of religion, and that I think, and I'll get back to why. It's a manipulative way to get the acceptance from religious people without having to deal with the basic problem of religion. Moreover, he is very fond of discussing Donald Trump, who is the presidential candidate for the US election in a few months. And he has made maybe 50 podcasts about Donald Trump since way back when he started as a candidate for the presidency. And he is not saying directly, I support Trump. But indirectly by pointing out things that has a sort of positive connotation, then if he decides to do that, then this will happen. If he is so and so, he's from the free market, more or less. He has done this and he has done that, and he has a high IQ and so on and so on. All sorts of describing, objectifying a person in a positive manner. So it's a soft way of sort of sliding an acceptance of politics into philosophy. Or at least his philosophy, with the reminder I mentioned before. And that is also manipulative, in my opinion. He is manipulating, he's balancing between knowing that politics is evil and talking about a politician without actually stating, I support Trump. Maybe he has said it. I have not seen all podcasts that he has made in the last year or so. Notably not all about Donald Trump. I may have seen maybe half of them, just to figure out what the hell he's doing. And the problem is, he is taking a chance. He is taking a chance that he can sort of become a light utilitarian, I think it's called, in what is good for the greatest number of people is the best philosophy, so to say. He is trying to go mainstream. He's trying to go mainstream by catering to religious people who has a track record of having all things being equal, all else being equal, a certain high moral standard, despite believing in, irrational things. At least they have, the 10 Commandments and so on, and they adhere to those rules, and at least that is better than having nothing. So by rallying the Christians, and the Christians are very much pro-Trump. They are typically very much against. Religious people are Republicans, as far as I know. So by catering to their interests, he is trying to rally the Christians and all this sort of spin-off people who are also interested in the more free market oriented kind of politics that you may believe that Trump stands for. I don't believe he stands for anything other than catering to his own interest. To be quite frank, he is no more and no less than Hillary Clinton, in my opinion. It's as and Molyneux knows this, I'm sure, because he has stated it so many times in so many podcasts through the last 10 years, that wielding power, wielding violent force never solves anything. And if there's a difference between Hillary and Trump, it's the speed with which we get more government. Maybe Trump will do some things that will limit the government in some areas just a slight bit, but then it will expand exponentially in other areas in which he does not have any control. The Pentagon had not even a deficit. They had $8.5 trillion they could not account for. I mean, how the hell will he control that? I mean, it's ridiculous. And he is, Molyneux is, all the time he spends on talking about a stupid politician, he is not talking about important aspects, like, is enforcing religion on people abuse? Is catering to politics, is that abuse on your children, or those who really want to live a pure and unenforced life as an anarchist or whatever? It's he is really out on thin ice, in my opinion, and I have really had a hard time handling this fetish for I believe, this is my opinion, I think he is under the belief that he is the only person who can, he's the one who's going to save the world in a sense. He has said it multiple times that it's the greatest, it's the biggest philosophy show on the net, and this is probably the only possible way to change the course of history and so on. And I think it has been 10 years in a sort of business, a solo entrepreneur business. He does have people who works for him in the Free Domain Radio background of the show, that they prepare things, and Mike who helps him with the listener show and so on and all things. There are some few men working behind the screen, but basically they are employees. They are not philosophical partners, so to say. So he is alone in his world there, and I'm a bit afraid that he has not got the amount of what's it called in English? Sparring. Someone to throw the ball up against and get some good responses, because he is, there's a tendency when you do a philosophy show like that, you get trolled from here to eternity with every podcast you make, and finding out if there may be someone down there at comment 817 that maybe actually have some good and valid criticism or points around a certain argument put forth in a podcast. He will not do that, I believe. I mean, he is kind of, I would think you could easily become isolated in your own vision of yourself and how important you are if you do not get anyone or any inputs to reflect over. So, excuse me if that was not a very good way to put it, but it's sort of a light form of illusion of grandeur, I would say. So, what I'm trying to say is, he has reached a point, I think, where he cannot, first of all, keep saying the same. Government is violence, and taxation is theft, and peaceful parenting is. He's going around the same circles all the time. It is nice to have something more to say, and I think he has been thinking that he has reached the limit of people he can get by keep talking about the same very strict and very rational and logical arguments from morality and so on, he has been doing for the last 9 years. So if I have to expand this show, if I have to expand it, I have to go into politics. I have to go into religion. I have to open the door to let them in, to expand, to get to the point of no return, when there would actually be a possibility that the course of history could be changed towards something a bit more lighter than, total nuclear World War III or something like that, zombie apocalypse, what have we? But by doing that, he is selling out on his own principles, and that is basically being a politician. I mean, you have to sell your integrity, and your moral fiber has to be stretched a good deal to accommodate this. It is excuse me. It's what about all the children that are abused by religious upbringing? What about those? Are we not going to talk about them anymore? What about what if Donald Trump turns out to be a real asshole? I mean, the latest I've heard, that the debate with Hillary last night, I think it was the 26th of September. It was he didn't, as far as I know, I haven't seen it, but he suddenly come forth as a chicken, and almost Hillary won the debate or something like that. And I mean, what if he turns out to be a stupid idiot who cannot handle anything? What are you going to do then? I mean, politics is how you lure people into accepting a whole package of shit. There's a small part that is good that you want, but it hangs together with a whole string of shit you have to accept also to accept a politician, because there are only two people, and two people cannot represent millions of people. So they invariably have, whenever there's a good thing about a politician, there are 10 bad things. So the top of the iceberg is what you see. Oh, this is very good. And then the whole bottom 9/10 of the iceberg is totally shit. And he's supporting that. I think he's going to dig his own grave in this. I'm sorry to say that, but I'm afraid he's going to do it. He can't get out. When you get in, you cannot get out with your morality and your integrity unharmed. You are damaged goods when you get out of politics. If he does that, if he stays in politics, he is sold for good, in my opinion. And if he tries to get out again, he has lost credibility, and he has damaged his integrity, and so on and so on. So I have very much been critical of his decision to do that. I was very, very disappointed that he thinks that his purpose of saving the world is bigger than adhering to a principle. So and if that is not bad philosophy, I don't know what is bad philosophy. So these are my opinions, and I hope you can use them for anything. And please comment and tell me what you think. If you agree or disagree, or there's the things that I haven't mentioned that should be mentioned. And stay on track and have a nice day. Hi.